We are live at the Detroit-Windsor border. At 7 p.m. tonight, there was an injunction scheduled to shut us down. We don't know what's going to happen. Folks, I am very proud of this city for a ton of reasons. People never backed down the last 2 years. We have had so many people that have stepped forward. With me right now, I'm very honored to introduce somebody who deserves his nickname. This is Freedom Stephen, and he really represents the word freedom. Listen, this guy went to Ottawa for 9 straight days, okay? And he just, what kind of led up, because everybody wanted to go to Ottawa, was it planned? Did you wake up one day and say, you know what, damn it, I'm going up to Ottawa, and I don't know if I'm coming back? Is that kind of how it happens, or explain it for us?
Well, as you know, there's many groups that have been doing lots of proactive work for freedom and peace here in the community. Through the venture of linking groups and finding different avenues, one of the groups, Stand Proud Ontario, who has been doing community work around the area, decided to go up to Ottawa and see what we could do to help out. We knew that we had some connections there, and we could link up with Freedom Convoy 2022 and Stand for Thee, which is doing great work up there, even with the roadblocks that GoFundMe and the government and the Ottawa police are conducting on them. But we went up there to help basically and see what we could do and put action to foot and just try to do the best we could. We did a lot of great things. We stopped an injunction from happening there. I'm sure there are names I can mention. I don't know if they want their names mentioned, so I'm not going to at this time, but greater people than myself did a lot of intelligent work in order to stop that injunction from happening, and it was great. The truck convoy at 302 Coventry stayed intact, their main supply chain, and they're still functioning to this day right now. Unfortunately, the powers that be, we had an affidavit set for the injunction that they had ready today, whether it be because the judge decided last night that they didn't want to go through with the injunction, they wanted a response from the other side being the people here. I think the judge wanted a leader to step out so they could identify a leader on paper, and we had a system set up through the same functionality that we did in Ottawa, where we would have many different affidavits printed out, not from the lawyers that were already set here that were utilized by the healthcare professionals. Unfortunately, they're still functioning under the purview of the Charter of Rights, and everybody should know that although the Charter is something derived from the Bill of Rights, they are using they're using loopholes to break through that and perform illegal activities on us, actually. So we all have to function off the Bill of Rights, and if we're going to use lawyers, we have to use lawyers that are willing to use the Bill of Rights and not deviate back to the Charter, because that's a failed mission right now. So these lawyers decided to hop in on the Zoom call, because they closed the courthouse due to emergency orders. We went down to the courthouse to try to file the affidavit well within time, but again, they closed it ahead of time. It didn't allow us in.
So for people in Windsor that have been fighting since day one 2 years ago, now we know there's an injunction pending. We know there's a lot of media eyes on us. When you are up in Ottawa, are people really aware of what's going on at the Windsor-Detroit border? Because I spoke to David Menzies of Rebel News, and we had to actually give him a tour of the bridge, because he had heard different things. The U.S. side was shut down, the Canadian side was shut down, not to take anything away from Ottawa. But do people realize how amazing and how important it is what we did in Windsor? That it was a small tag of ragtag patriots that came together and shut this down, and we got noticed. Would you say going forward that people really are aware of what's going on in Windsor, Detroit? And where do you see things unfolding in the next couple of days?
Well, it's really hard to tell in this moment just because things are changing so rapidly. I've been trying to speak with as many officers as possible to gauge where their individual hearts and souls are lined up at. We at Stand Proud Ontario had a particular action plan in place that we would try to utilize in Ottawa and try to implement here. It didn't go the way we wanted necessarily, but that's okay. All that matters is what's in the individual hearts, and that's freedom, peace, and love, and following the Bill of Rights. So people aren't leaving. They want people to leave. people aren't leaving. I think the boots are staying on the ground peacefully. And we're going to see where the hearts are of the officers that have orders to have an injunction and come in and put their boots on people's necks or lock arms in solidarity. We'll have to see what happens.
And right now it's a waiting game, but I can tell you earlier today the crowd was nowhere near this size. So despite these threats and this rhetoric of a 6-figure fine and a year in the slammer, more and more people have been attracted to this area. It's almost as though these people are saying, I dare you. We know law enforcement from other regions and cities are here, and it's kind of an ominous feeling despite the feel-good music being played. When is the shoe going to drop? It's a waiting game now, and but personally, from me speaking to police off the record, their hearts aren't in this.
I think today we need an ironclad timeline that all the mandates end by Monday 9 a.m. Just like there's an injunction that came at 7 p.m. tonight, we're going to work with law enforcement, but the city of Windsor and the rest of the country behind this convoy, we're going to also impose a mandate deadline of our own, that within the next 72 hours, we will work with the police and clear out peacefully, but all mandates end. There's no more timelines. There's no Mr. Ford saying he has to wait until he speaks to the Chief Medical Officer of Health. All the mandates end. Not a week from now, not a month from now, not 2 months from now, nothing to do with data. It ends within 72 hours. That's what we'd like to see.